Hi everyone, this is Jorgen. I thought I'd do a quick video just to sort of start a new series and maybe get my channel up and going. Been a bit lazy, but yeah, I thought I'd do a quick series just to basically go over 6 key items to get you started, basically. Um, so yeah, Path of Exile is a bit of a rundown when you first step into the game, and I've had a lot of friends try and get into it and things like that. Is quite a in-your-face game,
Glad you
and
made it back.
it takes a little bit of time and research to actually get it right and figure out how things work. And that one of the issues with Path of Exile in I guess the first point of call is it's not a very straightforward game as far as playing through and figuring out things. There's not a lot of tutorial support in the game itself. With the expansion coming out as well, like that's going to create a new learning curve for a lot of like even more hardcore players now. But it is a great game, and it's definitely a continuation of Diablo 2 back from in the day when we were all around playing that one. Anyway, so I thought I'd start with my first point is for new players, don't try and build a complex don't try and build complex skills for your first character. So build simple. So the character that you can see on the screen right now is actually my Earthquake character, and if we have a look, I've got him up to levels 86, and this is in the Legacy League, so this league will finalise in the next 5 days. But what you can see is I've just went with a simple Earthquake build. That being said, I've got a 6 link on this, and obviously I've got reasonably tiered up gear from just leveling and things like that. But start simple. So those first beginning skills that you get from the vendor in Act One are actually quite good. It really doesn't matter what skill you really start. There are some like Static Strike that aren't great, but you generally Earthquake characters or Totem characters in particular for your first character is quite easy. Um, so that sort of leads me to my next point 2, which would be commit to your build. So a lot of players get sort of all over the place when they look at this tree, and it is a crazy tree. There's so many things going on. There's a lot of different ways that you can build. Generally, when you want to build your first character, you want to start, and if you're trying to get your head around the game, start with core stats like build a HP tanky character, because obviously when you're playing your first character, you maybe not going to be as savvy with the different skills and abilities that are available to you. So build a character with basically some guts. So generally with my Marauders, I build down these armor and health trees, and then build into flat physical damage, things like that. In particular, that's a great way to build for Earthquake builds, and then Life Leech, more armor. To build your character so you can take a lot of hits, basically. But yeah, just don't try not to go all over the place. Keep in specific clusters, even if you don't fully understand their ability now. Getting started, this will help you as far as not having to respec a lot later down the track, because that can actually become quite costly. So that leads into my next point, which is what is the best character to start with? Well, I personally, and other people may have different opinions on this, would start with a Marauder build, or push comes to shove, build into the Templar builds, and the main reason for that is tankability. So both the Marauder and the Templar are incredibly tanky champions or characters, and they have a lot of health nodes available to them. For your first build, you'll hear a lot of things when you do research about ES builds, which is sitting on this part of the tree, and this is looking at Chaos Inoculation. These nodes are going to be taken out of the patch in the expansion. But Chaos Inoculation and all this jazz, don't worry about this stuff until you've mastered the basics in the game. Don't worry about ES builds. I would say best build for your first build, just stick to a Marauder, build a lot of HP and a lot of flat physical damage, and use a really big weapon, and that'll get you started. And once you get your head around the basics, then it's time to learn some more complicated stuff. So my next key point would be make sure that you're keeping track of your DPS and your basic stats. So scaling, and this will be the same premise for any game that you actually pick up and play, whether it be World of Warcraft, Path of Exile, League of Legends even. You need to scale with each act that you're playing through. So as you progress, and these obviously Cruel and Merciless won't exist after the expansion drops for Fall of Oriath, but make sure you're scaling your DPS. So in Act 1, you'll get to Mavail's Caverns. You'll have a particular amount of DPS, but you won't want to have the same DPS going through. So as you level up, you will need to consistently change your gear out. And I would say if you were starting and trying to get your way through this game and figure it out, I would be speccing to gear with a lot of crit, a lot of physical damage, and a lot of attack speed as a baseline, as to sort of spec your early character out. Those are the three main stats. You can we'll worry about things like, like on these battering rams, 4% melee damage per endurance charges and whatnot. That when you get to the point of you understand the basics of the game, then worry about things like endurance charges and power charges and frenzy charges, things like that. But for just a beginner, just focus on physical damage, attack speed, and crit. Those are the three main ones. They're going to be the major dictators of your DPS, and they're going to help you carve through the content to level up and get your head through the game. And that sort of brings me into another point, which is point number 5, and that is make sure you Google things. Talk to people in the chat. You'll see when I load into the next screen, you'll see this chat menu, and you can go to global, and you can actually ask. A lot of people ignore this over Piney Tennis. A lot of people type some crap in here, but there are actually a lot of people in this community that will help you, and it's worth sometimes just posting into here. Otherwise, Google and YouTube. There's great YouTubers like Lifting or Ziggy D and guys like that actually have quite a lot of good content to get you started in this game. And follow the build guides as well. The build guides can be a bit ambiguous, but I would go to where they say it's a cheap build guide and whatnot. That's actually probably a good starting base to get into a certain character. Is aim to not have legendaries straight up. Legendaries will come as you play the game, but don't bank on getting those legendaries straight away. And that segues me into point 6, understanding currency. So Path of Exile, unlike a lot of other games, does not have a gold system, and a lot of people get choked up on how do I get gear and trade, because obviously you have this trade window and a lot of people are trading things and different things like that. So everything in orange will be trade window stuff and want to sells and things like that. Don't freak out about this. A lot of this content is accessible through Chaos Orbs, so I would effectively treat Chaos Orbs as gold in this game. As you can see, I've only got 67 on this toon at the moment because I spend them quite frequently. I have a number of different characters, but keep your Chaos Orbs, don't burn them. When I first started this game, I used to burn through Chaos Orbs. I didn't understand them. Same with the mirrors, and obviously the most valuable of all is the Exalts. And there are actually quite a number of different places you can go to look up the currency trading values and things like that. But generally, most items will trade for Chaos, and the legendaries that I guess are the higher end of the scale, or master-crafted items, will be Exalt trading. And I think currently 80 Chaos equates to 1 Exalt, just to put into scale how valuable these Exalts are. But that's your key currency. So as you go through the game and you farm and you play, you will most likely have Chaoses and Exalts drop, and that's the stuff that you're going to be using when you get to end game. Or even mid-game. I wouldn't be burning it on mid-game gear. I would be getting to about level 55, 60 before I would be buying high-tier gear. That's about when you're able to use some decent legendaries. But things like these belts, like this magnet-studded belt, is a level 16 belt, but obviously it has stats like 25% to all elemental resistances, which is amazing. So it's actually quite good. But yeah, that's pretty much the 6 key things you need to know when you get into the game. If people watch this video and, you know, respond and whatnot, then I'll continue making more videos that sort of give a very quick, brief summary about how to do something in this game. I've had a lot of people say to me in the past it's actually quite hard to get into, but if you've got the right guidance and someone that's actually giving you a good explanation, it's a very easy game. But yeah, maybe next time I do a video it'll be about lab farming or something like that, or ascending, which is actually quite important because you will need to ascend in this game, and it can be quite hard to ascend for the first time as well. Anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah, if you like this video, click like, and yeah, if you want to see more content, subscribe to my channel. I've actually pulled this one out of the grave. This is my original YouTube channel that I started when I was like 16 and never got anywhere with, so maybe I might be able to do something with it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.